Come and join the largest and fastest growing social media platform for small boat building and fishing. Come and show your pictures off, show your boats and your fish. Come give advice, come get advice.
So as we redo this whole thing, obviously this cluster of wires probably is stressing you out as much as it's stressing me out. Let's talk about how to minimize overall wires in the boat, period. FYI, we have videos on stuff like this where you can make advanced layouts. This is for like running massive amounts of electronics at your control and disposal in an efficient way. We have videos on this all day, including this one will be the most updated one. Let's talk about the simplest way to run wires, period. It is this thing. We will be installing it and showing you from start to finish how to rig the most essential things in your Jon boat, or even in your bass boat, in your full-on fishing boat, what you absolutely need. So this thing. Say we have battery terminals here. Here we go. You can use this system for whatever, whether you're just trying to do a really simple layout, or if you did a complex layout and but you ran out of leads and you need to add some emergency leads in somewhere. You can attach them right to your battery. This is a battery terminal mount bus bars. I have these in my web store. I also have the other items that we're going to use all in my web store. Please check the description area below to find it. It gives you a pretty fairly, obviously limited, but I mean, an in-depth instruction of how it's supposed to look. These are supposed to face in this way. This rubber slip will go on like so. Obviously we take this off and we would feed the wires through this. That means any wires we run through need to run through the grommet first. We'll just put the grommet there, just make sure we run the wires first. We would take a connector like this. This is just a terminal connector. With heat shrink, you would obviously heat shrink this with a heat gun, or if you had to with a lighter, though it's much better with a heat gun. This is a tin copper 14 gauge marine lead. We strip it. That's one end. This end we'll run through. Connect that in a second. We have an inline switch. Now this is just a basic one. This is not a marine grade one, but I have marine grade ones down in the link at my web store. Those are what I would use. Those are waterproof switches with actual grommets around the switch and areas around the area where water can't get in and corrode and defect the switch. This is clear. This is for demonstrated purpose. This one's clearly not marine grade. Cause you all kinds of problems in life. So it's got the loops to come in here. It's got both loops. It's got the positive, the power and the ground in. So 1 and 1 goes right through. We're going to link the power first. Well, that one's tight in there. That's not coming out. The most important, external accessory that you're gonna put in your boat aside from your nav lights is your bilge pump. So I think this is a nice, appropriate one to use. So we're gonna go ahead and just close it like this. Now we could run the negative end through this. You don't have to actually do that, although you could. It's fine. We're gonna go ahead and close it up for video purposes, but you can run the negative lead through here and interrupt the negative lead, but you really only need to interrupt one lead. It was on. But now we have to take care of the negative end. These actually have coating inside them too. There's like a super thin, you can't really even see it. But a true marine grade connector, you can't always find them at Walmart or even like a hardware store.
True marine grade connectors have an adhesive coating underneath that completely seals it once the tubing is shrunk to the wire. The tubing shrinking to the wire alone is not true marine grade, although it's much profoundly better than just not having any heat shrink at all. But this will actually go underwater and it won't take on any water. Alright, there we are. We're missing something. We're missing a fuse. Bilge pumps will run off a 5 amp fuse. We have a 5 amp fuse. I have these also in my store in the link below. It's the moment of truth. So it's working. If you wanted the LED inside here, because it has a little light in here, if you wanted that to work, then you would have to run both wires through. Just because this was a little thick, and we could have done it. Yeah, we could have done it, but we could have just ran both in like that, through the switch like that, and you might find value in doing that. I just didn't want. I want to let you know that you can do that, but you don't have to do that. You can run the lead outside. Just the main power current needs to be interrupted. But that's ready to go. That's ready to be dropped right inside a boat. This literally took us minutes, where to do a full, I guess, complex rigging for mass LEDs and an entire boat fabrication would take you like days. It like literally took us minutes to do that. It took more time for me to talk about it than actually do it. This is on tin copper bus leads. Tin copper is the marine standard. It is the most resistant to corrosion and shorting, and that's why everything in the marine standard is tin copper. These terminal post covers are the major reason for onboard battery fires anywhere, period. So the fact that these are so nice and they fit so seamlessly but come off so easily, I mean, that's great. That's higher. That's fantastic. If you wanted to, if this took up your major leads, you should be able to attach a lead right on top of the terminal post. You should be able to still use this lead. There's still enough screw here. But if you wanted to add additional leads, because either these terminal posts here to us are fairly useless. We don't use them in the marine industry. So what we can do is turn them by getting things like these. And you can find these in Walmart. You can also find these on my store. They're right down in here. So you have additional leads here. You turn these into useless terminal posts into actual leads. And then these have covered terminals. And then I would liquid tape all this eventually. That's the direction I would go, but we're not gonna do that today. But this liquid tape, once you coat it in doses, it's just as thick and robust as anything like this. I hope this is helpful. This is the easiest way to wire anything on your boat ever. There is no easier way. Trust me, there is not an easier way. It only gets harder. It ends up looking like this. This is much more profoundly complicated and harder than what I just showed you. So I hope this video is helpful to you. Let me know what you guys think. Check out the description in the area below. Check me out on Patreon, because I have tons of content just like this, and I'm able to do it because I stay fan sponsored and I give you guys exclusive content, videos never released to the YouTube public, videos hidden from the YouTube public.
Boat wiring can be anything you want it to be. It can be as simplistic as you want or as complex as you want. It gets a little bit more tedious from this point, but if you want, check out my channel. I have an entire playlist dedicated to boat wiring and rigging. Hit my name, subscribe, check out everything I got on there. It's spread across multiple social media platforms. We even have our own store, and of course crowdfunding, where I really give you in-depth specific videos. Anything you really want to complete your project. If you're wanting something that's a little harder than your average DIY project at home, come and check us out. See what we're about.
We'll see you there.